Jeb Bush is saying. Now, he's not yet officially running, but he did have this to say about Rand Paul. Roll tape.
Libertarianism definitely has a place in the GOP. We all share a common belief that we need to limit government's power. We need to create an economy that grows where people can make choices for themselves, that freedom is the bedrock principle of this great country of ours. I do think there's some differences of opinion on foreign policy, but look, we're just beginning this journey.
All right, stand by, everybody. It looks like Rand Paul is pretty close to getting to that podium. But before we get there, Tom Sullivan's here. Again, the knock on Rand Paul's basic policy stance is he's out of touch on foreign policy in the age of ISIS.
Now, listen, you know what I get all the time? I've gotten them for months, and they seem to be picking up steam, is Judge Napolitano for President emails.
Yeah, I see him. Yeah.
I get them all the time.
The lunatic fringe.
I thought that was spam.
No.
It's the fringe, Lou. Fringe
There's
stuff.
250,000 signatures on that.
How many?
And I haven't seen the name Vaughney among them.
I'm not surprised.
Those must have been fundraising letters, and you're not going to see his name.
That's good. That's very good. Let Sullivan make his point.
Reputation is persistent.
It's wonderful, isn't it? Sullivan, make your point.
Look, if Rand Paul can make the argument upon the economic side and not the social issues, I think he has a real shot of making some inroads, as the judge said, into areas like when he went to Berkeley and got a standing ovation. There are people out there that like his economic message. I like his economic message. The question is, once he gets off of that, will the people be able to stay with him?
Right now, at that auditorium there in Louisville, they're actually playing a videotape about Rand Paul and his feelings about NSA snooping. We're told that the crowd is absolutely lapping it up. Lou Dobbs is here. What do you got to say about NSA snooping, Rand Paul, and the crowd really liking Paul's position?
Well, I think Judge Napolitano has got it exactly right. This is an opportunity for the Republican Party to indulge itself in new ideas, new thinking, and broaden its system of values to incorporate a base that's been heretofore poorly considered, if considered at all. The idea that he could reach out to young people, to minorities in this country, and whether you agree or disagree with his liberal values, his libertarian values, and by the way, I disagree with much of what he does advocate. But I think it could be very exciting for the Republican Party and a positive contribution.
You know who it is? It's the people that have left the Republican Party have grown that independent or do not decline to state group. I think that's where he has real appeal, is in that group.
If he can bring them into... Just stop.
Why don't you jump down their throats the way you do mine?
Because it's fun jumping down your throat. That's why.
They are far
we won't have any of it, will we, Tom? Not us.
That is a fair point. I mean, to bring new people and new ideas into the old-style Republican Party, I mean, who's going to argue against that?
Can you tell me anything that looked more tired than Jeb Bush up against what looked to be a Winnebago talking about, I mean, are you kidding me? The DNA, you have a thimble between the Clintons and the Bushes. This is going to give great energy to the Republican Party. That's utter madness.
You're going to argue that only Jeb Bush can beat Mrs. Clinton?
I'm not going to argue any such thing.
If you were to say that, I would say, what's the difference? They're almost the same on all issues, Jeb Bush and Hillary Clinton.
Here's what I want.
By the way, they're going to do a joint library. It's going to be...
What difference does it make?
Oh, that was good.
Thank you, Mrs. Clinton.
Yeah, okay. Now, listen to this. In a statement welcoming Rand Paul to the GOP race, Ted Cruz said, here's the quote, quite long, but I'll give it to you. His entry into the race will no doubt raise the bar of competition, help make us all stronger, ultimately ensure that the GOP nominee is equipped to beat Hillary Clinton and to take back the White House in 2016. Repeat, to beat Hillary Clinton. Ted Cruz is saying the opponent is going to be Hillary.
Well,
Come what may.
he's got empirical evidence on his side. 80% of the most recent polls of Democrats say they will support her for president. She looks like she's the deal right now.
You're happy about that,
And
aren't
the
you?
Fox News.
I think it would just be as absurd for the Democrats to put her there as it would be for the Republicans to put Jeb Bush there.
Interesting. Okay.
And the Fox News poll this morning shows Hillary 47, Rand Paul 45. Now, we're a long way from November of 2016, but that's not bad for the day you're announcing.
Not bad. It's extraordinary.
Yes.
45% support for Rand Paul against Hillary Clinton.
In a one-on-one if the election were today. Yes.
Okay. So you totally discount Jeb Bush. I mean, you've just...
I don't discount him at all. I just think it's a terrible decision should the Republicans make it.
Who else do you not like?
You know what? I find all of them likable, including Jeb Bush, of course. But the fact of the matter is...
You're hedging, Dobbs. It's not like you.
No, I'm not hedging at all. They're all likable people. But my God, man, how about somebody who's effective, some new blood, a generational change for leadership? How about reinvigorating the country, the party? And you can't do it without new blood, a new candidate representing a new view of the future.
But we want to win. Conservatives want to win.
Well, I think you should think about that. Winning at all costs is probably not the way to go here. We have gone through 6 years of an extraordinary experiment in governance, and that is demonstrating, I think, to nearly every American, if they're honest with themselves, that something more is required than a fresh face. We also need new ideas. We need a sharply focused person who has a record of achievement. Where that achievement lies and what discipline or quarter, I don't know.
About
some energy?
Sounds like you're talking about a governor, Lou.
I could be talking about a governor. I could be talking about. I have no
leadership. You got to run something, and that's where Rand Paul hasn't run anything other than a eye clinic.
Judge, for better or for worse, Rand Paul is your guy.
I think that, and I think my colleagues agree with me, that he can express ideas in ways that are attractive to people that have never voted for a Republican in their lives, and that will help defeat Mrs. Clinton.
May I?
Yeah, please go.
Senator Paul has another quality and capability, and it's not ungovernor-like. This senator actually reaches out to people, everyday working men and women, and absolutely interjects himself, intervenes between government and his constituents and constituents of other senators to take their part and to represent them against usually an utterly wrong and awesome power that is government ruining the lives of everyday working men and women. I think he's done this time and time again, quietly and without great fanfare. It's impressive to me.
Okay. Before we go to commercial break, I want to just chuck in my 5 cents worth. I don't ask for any comment from any of you, but I know I'm going to get it. What I want out of this election is write it down, is a tax cut. Because I don't think that anybody, excuse me, I don't think that anybody, sarcasm is a low form of wit.
Your reputation for penury is so well-grounded.
I don't think that anybody, anywhere, should pay more than half their income in income tax. We have that in America today, and it is wrong, it is immoral, and the one thing that I want out of this election is a retreat on the tax front.
Well, then you should love Rand Paul's proposal of a flat tax and an abolition of the IRS.
I want a winner.
I have to tell you, greed drives me in this, but I wouldn't mind the Varney program being instituted.
Oh, I love this guy. All right, everybody, we've got to take a commercial break because we have bills to pay, and we're going to pay them. Back in a moment.